I really hope you know how much I value your time. And I've got some cool, fun things that I know have helped me get through when I thought that there was no way I was going to be able to get through. So hopefully you're all hearing me as we've got started. So if someone could text me sure that I know that you're hearing me, that would be awesome. And so let's see where we're going. Anybody hear me? Yes. Okay, thanks, Maya. Of course, you always let me know. My girls always let me know. Actually, Maya, I'm wearing your cute little pants that you gave me. So thank you. See? Anyway, thank you so much for being here. This means a lot to me. People always ask me, you know, how can I share more with you and about my little tips and tune-ups. And this is it. I value your time mostly because I know that there are a zillion different things you could have been doing right now. You know, you look on the internet, there's so many different, a gazillion things that you could sign up for. You know, here in Las Vegas right now, it's been about 120 degrees every day. So finally, it's a little bit cooler, and I could actually take my dogs for a walk. So anybody that's here in Vegas, there are a couple of you, Maria, and all of you guys, you know, I appreciate you taking the time to really be a part of this call. And someone asked if they could see me. No, Karen, you don't get to see me yet. You get to see me when we are in New York together. So here's what I would say to you. You know, this webinar, you're either on this webinar right now either because you've heard me, you've worked with me, or any of the opportunities I've had the privilege of speaking at. You know, this is an opportunity for us to get together, and I believe to really create. I believe, you know, we see each other at these events, or we might run into somebody and meet them once, but sometimes we don't really keep that momentum going. And to me, this is what it's all about, is really keeping that momentum going. And, you know, just seeing you guys type your names, and I got so excited. I'm like, oh my gosh, I haven't seen them in so long. Or, wow, it seems like it's been years since I've seen them or gotten a chance just to connect with what's going on in their life. And you've heard me say this before. You know, I try to start every talk that I do with this particular thing that moves my heart. And my middle son, Quinn, always says, you know, Mommy, go out there and help lots of people. And I do believe that that's what we're here to do, is to help lots of people. And the challenge is, you know, sometimes I'll get to present with and be with a group of people, and then what happens is they're gone. You know, then a new group of people will come in, and I'll fall in love with those people, and then they go home and they get back to their lives, and you know, we keep going with this, but it's hard to really keep, I believe, for all of us to keep that momentum going. And I'm committed, absolutely committed. And those of you that have worked with me know that I'll love you, but I also, you know, I'll kick you in the butt a little bit as well. And tonight I'm going to share with you what I believe some of the top tune-ups are for your life. And we're going to do this literally in just a couple minutes. Why? Because, you know, tune-ups, I mean, it seems so easy, right? It's kind of like getting the air for your tire when you need it, but you know, you get busy, you've got a meeting that you're late for, or you've got something else that's going on, and you just don't take the time. So sometimes, even though we know that these little things are important, we really don't take the time because we really don't realize what the impact will be. And people have asked me all the time, and it just happened 5 minutes ago before I sat down for this, is, you know, how do I do everything that I do? And honestly, I'm no different than 99.9% of the people out there. You know, I'm really not. I mean, I'm running around busy doing a gazillion things just like you. I mean, I know this week, you know, going to 5 different orientations and getting the kids ready for school and getting ready for our tune-up call and making sure they take care of my physical body, making sure they take care of my spiritual body, all those things. So I'm no different than you. It's just, I think that for me, it's these tune-ups for me that really keep that momentum going, and they've really become who I am. But first, let's see if I can figure this out. But first, before we get going on everything, I want to ask you a question. And you know me, I can get a little personal, and sometimes a little scary. Sometimes we're like, oh my gosh, do I ask her? Or, you know, what what's she about to do? What's she going to ask me? And do I really want to answer this question or not? And is it going to get too personal? I don't even know this woman. Is she going to go too deep with, at the beginning of the call? We've only been on this call 10 minutes. What is she going to do now? I'm going to ask you this super, 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 super important question. Are you ready? And I want you to make sure that you type in this answer and let me know right away once I ask you this question. Are you ready? Someone type me that they're ready to answer the question, because you never know what you could win by me asking you. Okay, Billy's ready from Australia. All right, Dana's ready. Dana, hey baby. Heather, everybody's ready. Everybody's ready. Everybody's ready. Everybody's ready. And from Argentina's ready. We're ready. Okay, here's the question. Are you married? Who's married? Who's going to put hell no, hell no? Who's putting hell no out there? No, yes, no, yes, no, yes, yes, and no. Oh, that person's confused. I guess what's going on? Here's the truth. Now I want you to really think about. Guess what? Anybody want to know what? We're all married. We're all married to an identity, a story, or something. We're all married to it. And shoot, I've been freaking married so many times, I can't even count it how many times I've been married to certain ways of how I saw myself, or, freaking, what I've been married to? I have been married to a freaking couch that I paid so much money for, but I just won't get rid of it because I paid too much money for it. And I'm like, oh my gosh, what can I do? I can't get rid of this thing. I look around and I know that it doesn't serve me anymore. And you know what? It freaking isn't even comfortable. Isn't even comfortable. But I am so attached to being married to some of these things. And then what happens is we don't make room. We don't even make room for a really comfortable couch. Right? Yes, Dana, thank you very much for reminding me that it's hard as a rock. It is definitely as hard as rock, but it's pretty, and everybody walks in the house and goes, oh, it's so pretty, it's so colorful. Oh my gosh, you gotta keep that couch. Everybody goes, I want it, And sometimes it's like, oh my gosh, thank you, I know it's beautiful, Dana, but it's not that comfortable. Sometimes things can look good on the outside, but it's not even working for your life, right? So for me, it's everything about, I had to look at what were the things that I was married to. What was the story that I was married to about who I am, about my identity. I'm not the same person I was when I was 20 years old, thank goodness, Or, some of this couch, maybe there's a better home for it. Maybe not right now, because I'm still kind of married to it. But what if I gave up that story? What if I gave up that so that I could make room for things that I could even love and appreciate anymore? But I don't know about you, but I was also married to, these marriages can keep us in committed things that aren't. Here's the other thing I was married to. My story. My story, I'm sure none of you guys can relate to this, ladies and men. I have to make everybody happy and make everybody feel loved and appreciated. Anybody feel that way? That I had to do that. And you know what? I was so exhausted. I started to, I was exhausted. And I hear a lot of you saying, yep, that's me. Yep. Men and women are saying, that's me. That story of I've got to make everybody happy. And I was exhausted. And I really did believe at some time, that I needed to just start over again. And it wasn't a tune-up. I needed everything. But you know what? I had to get real with myself and really start to go to work with all the information that I had to learn, all this information that I learned over these years from amazing seminars, from amazing speakers. I look around me and I've got 500 amazing books sitting on, a couple hundred to the left, a couple hundred to the right, a couple hundred behind me. All these amazing books, all this stuff I had learned. But the truth was, I got stuck in what I was, what I thought was supposed to matter, even though things are totally different in my life. And I wasn't tuned up. I wasn't tuning up enough. I wasn't looking and just going, how do I keep this going? And what I had to do, and what I'd like for you guys to really think about, and this is where I started my tune-ups. I started my tune-up because this is when I knew I needed a tune-up. And I had to look at something that you're all familiar with, but it's stuff that you know, but I don't know if you're really looking at it every day and really getting associated every day to it. And that is, I had to really start with my values. You know, I had to really start looking at, you know, what were my values? What were the things that I valued the most? And, you know, this, I looked and for me, my values had always been love, love, love. I got it. Love, 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 love everybody. Who's got that one? Who's got that one as their number one value? You got to love, 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 love. It's all about love. Yes, 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 yes. Love, 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 love. Yep, yep, yep. Everybody's like me, 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 me. And I love, love, love everybody. And then number two for me was contribution. I just wanted to give. What could I do? What could I do? Someone would say, you know, that they needed help, and I would say, how high? You know, what can I do to help you? And I love, 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 but I was looking around, and you know what? I was exhausted. I was exhausted because I found myself starting literally to just give it all away, and I was empty. I was empty, and I had to switch my values. I had to switch my values and really look at something and really look at me and go, my kids are getting older, life seems to be speeding up. I can't even believe that we're about to start September right now. And I had to look around and I go, you know what? I've got to reevaluate my values. I know some people have been through Date with Destiny and, you know, Tony Robbins. I'm very grateful to have the opportunity to, you know, work with Tony, and it's been almost 25 years now. And some people right now I think are at Date with Destiny in Australia and really looking at their values. But here's what I had to shift my values to. And I want you to just think about this and think about where you might need to make a shift or a little tune-up in your values. Because I had to start respecting myself. I had to really start respecting myself and respecting my kids' time and respecting my time and respecting, you know, how many people, you know, who would come up and they help. You might have heard my metaphor before. There was a lady, a very dear friend of mine. Her name's Louie Thaddy. And I met Louie almost 25 years ago. And Louie was one of the original, literally, horse whisperers. She worked on an Indian reservation, and she worked with these boys who were really, you know, bad boys. They had some major challenges. And by the end of the week, they had to basically tame a wild horse to show how out of control they were and to get what it was like. So Louie was talking to him. She said, Loren, she goes, I was in a plane crash, and in the plane crash, there were 12 of us, but only 3 of us could swim. And she said, and you know what? There were some people that were drowning, literally underwater, that they were drowning. And then there were some people who actually had their arms up. And she said, Loren, who do you think that I helped? And I said, well, Louie, I hope that you would help the people with their hands up. And she said, you know what, Loren, you would have hoped so. She goes, but I actually went towards a drowning person. Who, right now, has ever helped a drowning person? Anybody ever helped a drowning person? What happens when you try to help a drowning person? They pull you down with them. That's what they do. And she goes, and Loren, you know what? She goes, in the meantime, I lost 2 people's lives. She goes, there was somebody right there in front of me. Those people that are right there in front of you are those of you that are on the call. You know, right now, you're like, I'm ready, right? So you've got to make sure that the people that you are around, your environment, are those people that really, you know, pull you up. And those are the people that are on the call. So I really hope that you keep in touch with these people as well. And if you've been around me before, you know, I always talk about houses. I love houses. I've been looking at houses, you know, thinking about getting a new house now that everything in Las Vegas is like 10th of the price. And I was walking around, though, looking at all these houses, and it's amazing because you're looking, you see all these beautiful houses, right? And then, though, you get closer and you notice, what don't they have? A lot of them don't have a foundation, a strong foundation. And when you go to buy a house, what's the very first thing the home inspector tells you to look at? The foundation. Because if it doesn't have a strong foundation, what do? Hopefully, run. You don't buy that house. And truly, this Life Tune-Ups program for me is for you to build a solid foundation. With me, and believe me, it's about, I had to dig. The people that you're going to have on this call, it's unbelievable. I mean, I'll share with you a little bit later about some of the people who I believe gave me the guts, and I'm talking real guts, to dig a deep, deep, deep foundation and get rid of the stuff that wasn't giving me a strong one. Honestly, for a long time, I was building on a house of cards. I was thinking it was going to be the next book, it was going to be the next conference, it was going to be the next person that I met, it was going to solve everything. Has anybody ever been there? I know you don't want to admit it, but I admit it. I kept thinking if I just read one more book, it was going to be the answer. It was going to be the one to help me make all my, help me just go, aha, that's it. I just needed it. Yes. But I realized that I needed to go really, really deep. And I was scared. I don't know, but if you've noticed, the deeper that you go, the scarier that it really gets. So I dug deep, and not just for me. I dug deep because I realized if I had the guts, if I really had the guts, to go, you know what, Loren, you've been living on this house of cards. It's great. It's great everything that you're doing. But until you get down deep and get rid of all that old story, get rid of divorce, as I would say, divorce all those things that you're attached to, you're never going to be able to build a house that's super strong. Now, you've also probably heard me ask this question before. I'm going to ask it again. And that question is, where is the very first place that the heart delivers blood to? So if you could type in what you think your answer is. This is kind of like Jeopardy or one of those. Final answer? Yes? Come on. Come on. You guys have heard me before say this. Okay, I got a stomach there. Okay, I got a brain there. Okay, you're all too smart. Oh, the brain, the heart, and the brain. Yep, that's the truth. The truth is the heart delivers blood to itself first. Meaning you can't give what you don't have. And I think so many of us, especially those of you, when I look at all the people that are on the call right now, so many of you really are all about, giving back and, sharing and how can I take this information and share it with others. Now, I know that these tune-ups that I'm going to tell you, you're going to be like, really? Really? I just took an hour out of my time to get, on this call for her to teach me these simple little things or these simple little reminders. And, yep, pretty much I'm teaching these simple little reminders. And that is, like I said, the top tune-ups. Get ready for the top tune-ups in your life. Here's the deal. As I shared with you before, I've had the opportunity to work in one of the coolest industries, I believe. A friend of mine said, how lucky are you? There's a friend of mine here in Las Vegas, and they go, you're so lucky that every day, whether it be you working with somebody on your team or working with somebody one-on-one or at an event, you get to help people. How cool is that you get to help people? And they work at a casino. And I'm like, yeah, that's really, really cool. And they go, you know what? Every day that I go to work, all I can think about is who's going to lose their job today? Who's, what's happened? What are they going to gamble away? And I'm like, yeah, but you know what? You've got to look at it the other way too. How many magic moments are going to be created there? How many, people are they going to meet? What great things are going to happen there as well? But here's the thing. As awesome as the world of personal development is not make sure everyone is developing with you. That's not what personal development is about. What is personal development and everything about in your top tune-up? You've got to make yourself a priority. You have to make yourself a priority. I know, you heard it before, and you're going blah, 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 blah. Really? And, of all the people that I've worked with, and I have had the opportunity of working with thousands and thousands and thousands of people over the year, and I interviewed a lot of people, actually, a lot of people who have been through some really tough times. And I know that we've all done that, and we've all had some really tough times. And I was like, I just want to make sure that this isn't just my beliefs. I want to make sure that other people can truly identify this of how they got and dug deep. And that is that, you know, you've got to make yourself a priority. And what that really means to me is that you've got to get back to your core of who you are. The core of who you are, not your roles. I think we sometimes get so locked into our roles that we forget who we are at our core. Really, really, you know, forget who we are at our core. We think that, you know, we look at some people and go, oh, they're being selfish by, you know, making themselves a priority. No, I don't know about that. I mean, you know, you look, you need to dig deeper, and you need to kind of understand what's really going on and why that they're doing that. Some of my favorite examples are, there's a great book, it's called the Delaney Sisters Book of Wisdom. And there are these two ladies, I think one lived to be about 103 and one lived to be about 105. And they talked about their mom. And that everybody knew that it was Mama's time when she sat down at her desk, and there was a Bible that was on the desk. This was back in the early 1900s, and there was a picture of Abraham Lincoln and her family on the wall. And everybody knew when she sat down at that desk that it was her time. She made herself a priority. I mean, she had so many kids running around the house that, you know, but she had to get herself centered. She had to get herself grounded. And, you know, the other one is, you know, my kids. I mean, we look at, everybody knows that I have my time, and it's a priority for me no matter what to take a bath every single night. You know, and now it's so cute when my 17-year-old draws a bath for me and lights the candles for me and brings me flowers home, because he knows that there's just going to be more of me to share. How many of you really, on a consistent basis, I mean, as your top tune-up, not just as one of your tune-ups, but I mean as your top tune-up, how many of you really do something to make yourself the priority? And what do? Share some of the things that you do to really make yourself the priority. And getting back to your, like some of the things, read, okay, I see you read. What else? To remind yourself, you know, of just who you are every freaking day. Do you just go, you know, for me, I remember when I was going through my challenging times after my, you know, my divorce, I was just like, I'm a catch. I am a freaking catch. And every day I had to say to myself, I'm a freaking catch. And great, let's walks 3 miles in the morning, dance, right, taking a course. Now, all these things are great. These are really awesome activities that you do, just as I do with regards to taking my bath. But what are the other things that you literally say to yourself, you know, first thing in the morning? I share with you, you know, every day I say to myself, today is going to be the best day of my life again. I like that, Julie. You're hot. You are hot, actually. So, but what are some of the things that you really do to say, you know, to prioritize it, that it's non-negotiable? As, you know, one of our speakers who's going to be Keith Cunningham, he's going to share, he says, what are non-negotiables? What are non-negotiables for you every day to make yourself a priority? Really think about that. All right, so now we've got some ideas. Love that. So post 10 things every morning that I'm grateful for. I love that one. I'm worth it no matter what. You know, because what you say to yourself first thing in the morning is the most important thing that you can do. I really believe there is no way I could have gotten through those tough times if I didn't say, I love you, and I've got to make sure that I'm taking care of me. And I looked at my kids and I said, this is it. I got, you know, I need to let them know also that that's their foundation for themselves, so that they've got their time, and think about who they are at their core and getting back to their core. So, helpful? Hope so. I know that you know it, but I want to just make sure that you're really living it. You're not just saying, okay, I know this information. Okay, all great. Next tip. Prioritize the most important people in your life. You're like, are you kidding me? You know, creating those great friends around you, you know, that are keeping you accountable. I remember that, you know, and that's why I really love about social media, and I love this opportunity to do these webinars and create things together, because you'll see what kind of people, you know, are being drawn to certain things and what people aren't. You know, people that say that they're doing things, but they're really not. You know, my son had the opportunity to go to an event a couple weeks ago, and he was asked about, you know, who were the top 5 people that he would do anything for in this world. And he, you know, he was sharing with us, and actually it was really hard because he had to call somebody and tell them that they weren't on that list. You know, who are those top 5 people for you? You know, who is your cabinet? You know, for me, I have photos of my cabinet, literally. The people who I know, you know, love me, they have my back, I have their back. I know if they love, I know if they cherish. Those are the people that I know that together will, it's almost like a little mastermind group, but I know that that's my cabinet. That's my group of people that I, first of all, respect, truly, truly respect. I remember one day that I was cranking away. I mean, I was working on a project, and I had so much momentum. Everything was going. I was so excited. I was like, yeah, this is it, this is it, this is it, this is it. And then my phone rang. And it was a friend of mine who I hadn't talked to in probably about a year. Anyway, I was excited to talk to this person because I hadn't talked to them. Well, it kind of, you know, it was in the middle of my momentum of getting things going. And then I started listening a little bit deeper. And that's what I would encourage you to do when you really look and start prioritizing the people in your life. And this is no disrespect to any people in your life. I want you to really hear this. But I think sometimes we've got to not just tune up, we've got to really tune in. And we've got to tune in to kind of those subliminal messages that we don't always want to hear. You know, there's a great line I just heard. I watched Shallow Hal again. I hadn't seen it in forever, and I'd encourage all you guys to go back and watch that movie because it's pretty profound. And the guy, you know, goes up to Tony and, you know, wants him to change his friend back. And Tony says, it's so beautiful. He said, you know, the head here, you know, the brain hears what the heart wants to feel. Like, so the brain decides what the heart wants to feel. And I mean, so many times I go, God, I love that person. I love that, you know, I love this and that. And then you start looking and you start listening and going, wow, is this really kind of a unconditional relationship, or are there a lot of conditions here? So anyway, back to my friend that called me, and I'm listening and we're catching up. And then she goes, and Loren, you know, I was just wondering, you know, which is, you know, would you, you know, I need help to do this, this, and this, and this, and this. And could you connect me with this and this? Now, I don't mind doing that. I don't love doing that. It's that there was a part of me that felt like, wow, it was the only reason that she called, you know, was just because she needed something. And then I did something that was really hard for me to do. And I said, you know what? I love you, and and it was the hardest thing, because I know for you guys that it's a hard thing as well. But I had to say no. I had to say no so that I could say yes to, you know, the momentum and the, you know, the priorities of the people in my life who really needed me at that morning. And I wanted, like I said, I wanted to make everybody happy at all the time, you know. So like as I'm on the phone with her, I'm like thinking about my old thing that I was married to, you know. Oh, I'm supposed to make her happy. I'm supposed to do all of these things to help her so that she's happy. And then I went back to, wait a minute, that's not my story now. My story now is I've got to prioritize things. I've got to really look at what are the things that is my top cabinet, for the top 5 people that I really care about, and for the people that we really keep in touch and we really build community. How can I prioritize that? And you know what? It was really great because she said, you know what, Loren, thank you so much. Thank you so much, because, you know, obviously I gave her some tools, and I said, I'd love to give you some more of my time. I just have so much going on, and I just can't take on one more thing. The old me never would have said that. I would have been like, I'll make the time even if I sleep 1 hour a night. So really saying no, and maybe this is a question that you need to do, really say no so that you can say yes to the things that really serve you and that really, you know, keep that momentum going, which leads to the third tip that we all know, which is, you know, focusing on your health and your well-being. This includes literally managing your time. Really managing your time. You know, what's one thing that you commit to every day that you can even add to that you know that you'll be focusing on your health and well-being, managing your time? Like for me, I literally have done myself a little funny little map. It says, okay, drop Asher off here, drop Quinn off here, head straight over here to bar. Then I get to reward myself and have some lunch, and I'll do some three-way calls, and I'll do this way, then I'll get back there. And it's funny, it's kind of like a little map for myself. So I've made it very fun, versus just a list of how I do things. So, and also really thinking about where is that going to lead me. So I kind of made this map for myself, a little vision map for myself of every day. It's like, hey, and then at the end of the day, yay, what do I get to do? I get to take my bath, I get to celebrate my kids, I get to walk my dogs, yay. And then I started doing fun things. Okay, like every time I go out for a run, guess what? That adds to my kitty where I can do something cool. And so I put leverage on myself of fun things that I could do of every day of being on this map. I also have my road traveling map. And that one's a little, takes me on a lot of side detours, if you would, because as we know, lots of times when we're on the road, we don't, okay, so Barbara's saying that, okay, and this is her values, and we know about this, but, think that number one should be health. I too believe that, but that to me was that was priority, making myself a priority. So part of that, Barbara, is my health, but that's making it a priority for me. And sometimes I think I got really locked into all of this. I think that, health is part of this. This is health, well-being, and also time management. This is just so that you make sure to keep that momentum going. Like I said, like priority, yes, is that first you've got to make yourself a priority. You have, but this is just for me, and I mean, you guys can, look at this and, and I know that Barbara, I know that you're really into health, and I am as well. I think that sometimes though I got so stressed out about things, and with regards to it, that I didn't, even though I was focused on health, I still wasn't doing it out of the reasons of I'm the priority. So this has to do with just a lot of different elements, and obviously, everything's going to be different for people. But first, in order to make health that priority for you, you've got to make yourself a priority. You know what I mean? With regards to this. So that's that. As I talk about, this is a foundation. So as that foundation, right? You have to say yes to yourself as that priority. So keep moving forward. Focus on moving forward. So, all right, who else has some other things that they have got going on with regards to their health and well-being? Life management for me is so freaking cool. I love that. To me, life management and focusing on my health and overall well-being means also saying, things I love about myself, do my I am statements, and I am give myself some freaking premium fuel. I spent an extra $20,000 to buy a car that took premium gas in it, so I would remind myself to give my body premium fuel, premium thoughts, premium people around me. That's actually a big reason why that I bought a car took premium fuel. So, your life management and your overall well-being has to do with, what you say to yourself, what you make non-negotiable every single day. So it's all about premium thoughts. Let me tell you something. I just had an opportunity to be on the phone with a very talented woman a couple days ago, and super cool lady. I guess she's accomplished a lot in her life, and my friend called me and said, hey, can you speak to this woman? And man, that lady was angry. I mean, God bless her little cotton socks. She was truly just angry, talking about health, and this lady had health as her top priority. Yet the challenge was that she did not have premium thoughts of what she was putting in her body at all. She was angry, and she was so being angry. I felt like saying to her, lady, God bless you. I just kept sending her love. I bet she was creating so much acid in her body. So yes, she said health was her priority, but let me tell you, she was creating so much acid by being so angry and mean about this silly little situation that had happened for her and someone else, that I was like, she should have just gone to McDonald's and ate a freaking big old Big Mac and a big old super duper order of fries and a Coke, because she produced so much acid. So people can have certain things as a priority, but are they really living it? And I mean, look, we've been around enough to know that, you know, you can learn all this great information, but you've got to make sure that you manage how you interpret everything as well. I think that, you know, I think that all of us have an over amount of information. I mean, I'm just, like I said, I'm looking around my office right now. There is so much freaking information. You know, I'm looking at all these books here, and one contradicts the other, but it's all great. I take one little element from it, but you've got to make sure that, you know, you look and go, okay, that makes sense to me. And what part of that am I going to integrate into my life every day? What is that going to be part of my well-being every single day? You know, and like I said, that there's a gazillion ways of doing all of these different things, but you've got to, as long as you have, as I say, you take 5 things that you could do consistently, making yourself a priority. You know, like as we said, really looking at the people you surround yourself with. You know, you'll hear another great line that, and obviously I'm going to mention Tony often, because, I mean, I've been around that for 25 years. But I love what Tony says, you know, who you surround yourself with is who you become. So choose wisely. So we need to really choose who are the people that we surround ourselves with. And once again, you know, when I see people getting all stressed out about their time and, you know, what they're doing for their well-being, and even when people get a little over too much about their health, I go, okay, I love that. And what parts am I going to take so I keep everything in balance for myself? You know, that's just some of the things that we're going to talk about as well. So anyway, we have lots of great examples of this. And what is this? Yeah, that's true, Marina. I agree. You know, I too, you know, have a lot of friends, and, you know, lost a couple friends, and that's okay, like you said. But they move on, and we help on. It's almost like it's like this dance. I mean, isn't life really a dance with regards to how people, you know, when you were in junior high, I don't know about you, but I started thinking about, oh my God, that person's going to be my friend forever. We're going to be friends forever, you know. And then you started realizing that, you know, you didn't share a lot in common, or maybe those things were just because it was, you know, that we were proximity, as we talk about, that they were there, and that you guys, you know, you just were friends maybe because of proximity. So it's a treasure hunt. I look for me, you know, and I look at that, you know, I pick up treasures along the way. So many of you that are here on this call, Barbara, you're one of them. You're my treasure I picked up, you know. I mean, Marina, I remember when we first met, and I start looking around, and Courtney so many years ago, and Karen, and so many of you amazing people looking around, and it's truly a treasure hunt. It's truly a treasure hunt. And then, you know, you look, and you if you really nurture it the way that these relationships, and start making those relationships a priority as well. You know, I look around, and, you know, when I really make myself that priority, then I can authentically really make everybody else the priority as well. So the other one that we've got up here is the tip, and you're going to hear it because we say it all the time with regards to that. But it says on this next one, it says be grateful. But I'm going to change the word to this one, because when I was really thinking about the people that I wanted to bring the call from you, and I'm telling you, I cannot wait. I'm looking at all the books of some of these people that are going to be joining us over the next month. Over the next the year. And oh my gosh, some of these people have totally transformed my life. My friend Alita St. James, she wrote a book called Life Shifts. Amazing woman, just with regards to spiritual healing. Jagat Jyoti, about creating your sacred space. Keith Cunningham, Joseph McClendon, with Jarek Robbins. We've got Sandra Maxim, and I'll be sharing more with you about these people. But what I love about them, about every single one of these people, and just so you know, tons of people, you know, asked if they could be a part of this and share these Tuneups with you. But every single one of these experts that you're going to hear over this next year have one thing in common, the reason that I say yes to them to want to be a part of this Life Tuneups community. One, they've made a huge difference in my life. My friend Jamie Green, who you're going to hear from, wow, what you're going to hear from him. But what I love about every single one of these people, have I said that once? Have I said that twice? What I love about them is every single one of them is not just about being grateful, is humble for what they have. Truly, truly humble for what they have. And, it's, and I don't know if some of you have been through, situations where you had to really take inventory. I think that the recession was a really great thing for all of us to wake up. We had to really look deep. I mean, there were so many people that lost their careers, and once again, because they weren't they didn't know who they were at their core, because they got so locked into the role that, maybe they got lost for a little. What happened in the recession? Hey, we live in Vegas. And in Vegas, we had a house that we bought for, I don't know, $900,000 and had to short sell it for $300,000. So that was pretty scary, honestly. But I was married to the house at one time, but then I had to divorce the house, right? I had to say, okay, yes, I had to say, all right, I got to let that story go. I got to let that, thing that I was married to go, so that I could, stretch myself and grow and grow like what who I was and what I had. So learning to be humble, not just be grateful, learning to be humble for everything that we have and all the people that are alive. Every time, I look at my kids, I go into my kids' room every morning and I just look and I just stare at them, and yes, I'm grateful, but I'm humbled by the honor to get to be in their lives. And I think that's once again digging a deeper foundation about, what's in our lives and the people in our lives. And the way that I do it, and some of you know about this, is I'm not a big technology person. I mean, me learning how to even get on this call, I was freaking sweating, wondering if I was doing it right. But I have learned how to do it for, towards my favor, and that is with regards to reminders. So I set my phone to remind me of all of these things that I've just told you about. At 5 o'clock, my alarm went off on my phone and it said, breathe. At 12 o'clock noon, it says, think about 5 things, think about my gifts, and remember my gifts. At 10 o'clock a.m., everybody knows that my alarm's going to go off and it's time to do push-ups, a minute of push-ups on the floor, And at 7 a.m., it goes off, my alarm goes off, and it says, eat. So I don't know that if you guys need to be reminded of those things, but that's what, we want to do. We want to get, be getting going and just setting that up, so that you're reminded, even though we know all of this information. Are we doing it so that it's sustainable and it really, really becomes part of who we are? So, my kids, they start laughing, over the summer break. It was 10 in the morning, and the alarm went off, and they all look at me and they go, get on the floor. I go, I go, if you're in the general vicinity, you got to get on the floor with me. So here we are, my little 6-year-old daughter, doing her push-ups on the floor, my 17-year-old. It really is about creating those healthy habits that just becomes part of your identity. Once again, not so much as your roles, but about who you are at your core. I've had so many things that I was married to, and yes, so many things that I was married to, and I didn't want to give it up. I didn't want to give it up. Sometimes people are just some people, if you want to use another metaphor, some people are just attached to that, that wedding ring. I'm just so attached to it, and really maybe that metaphor of this is just pulling them down because it's not something that's healthy. It's not a healthy marriage, if you would, with regards to that metaphor. So a couple things, right, with regards to it. So what did somebody say? Heather, I wish my alarm didn't have a snooze button. Well, you know what? That's a really good thing, because I saw how I felt. Sometimes I did put things on snooze. I'm really glad that you brought that up. And you're right. Stop. You're exactly right, Nick. You've got to stop pushing it. Because I remember every time that I would push that snooze button, who's the only person that I was letting down? Myself, truly. Once again, that goes back to making myself a priority. And that's why I say that first tune-up is making myself a priority. I could still, let's just play for a second, have health as my priority, my top priority. But I remember every time that I would go and I press that snooze button, I'd say, you know what, that's not who you are, Loren. You're not about snoozing. You're about, as you know, my favorite thing, you're about Goya. And Goya is what? Okay, here goes my language. Get off your ass and do something. Get off your ass and decide that, you know what, you would never, I mean, if there was somebody that, you were going there to save, what are you going to do? You know, you're going to save that person. So you've got your hands up, you're on this call, so make sure that you're doing that and, you know, do it again and again. And you'll notice that that snooze button, it's not even an option for you. If you made that snooze button non-negotiable, how about this? Every time you saw that snooze button, you said, instead of snooze, you know, snooze you lose type of thing. So maybe you put some leverage on yourself, you know, a way to make it that's just non-negotiable. Or, you know, for me, I just said, okay, then that means that I can't do this if I do that. So it's kind of fun. And someone say that's I'm late. Let someone say I'm late. So yes, no more of that. Maybe you're just setting it too early. Well, then we need to look at that. What is that? You're cute. You better get out here. So the other thing that we talked about is, and super, super excited about, because one of the calls that we're going to be doing, I just did a meeting here last night for 20 women that I met. Barbara, we missed you seeing there last night. But once again, about creating that intentional community. And once again, you're going to say, Loren, really? You're going to really tell me this? How many of you, before we move on to the tune-up number 5, how many of you say, yeah, I already live this. I already live this. I already do this. But how many of you also know that you could dig deeper? Because I'm looking at all of you on the line, and I'm looking at who's there and those of that could do that. You know, how many of you really believe you could do deeper? You could dig deeper. You know, you could, you know, give up some story. Yeah. Okay, cool. So really, really dig deeper. Great. A lot deeper. It's hard. Yeah, it's hard. But let me tell you something. I never imagined that I could ever get there. As I shared with you on that first intro call, you know, that's that video that we put together. There were some points, you guys, that I did not think that I was going to be able to get through it. I thought there is no way. Now I'm like, what the freak is going on here? I know all this stuff. I know lots of you on the call going, I know this. I know this. And I kept going, this is so freaking ridiculous that I am going through this. I needed that. I have been kind of, I'd say, living in the glass house, you know, that I had to go and really needed to look at myself and go, you know what part of you are you willing to just give up so you can discover more of who you really are? And you know, some parts I was like, but this is why people love me. This is why I'm so good at this, and this and that. And then I started looking and I started going, you know what? I don't know if that's what it really is. You know, I don't know. I think that's all about, and it's what we're going to talk about, is, and I'm actually not going to get there yet. I'm not going to go there yet. But if you know me, and I'll be putting this up soon, I'm looking around my office right now, and I've got 12 vision boards. I've been doing vision boards since I was 12 years old. My mom sent me a vision board of when I was 12 years old. It's crazy to think about. I'll be taking you through a call like that as well, and how we create that, and actually how you can be a Life Tuneups vision board facilitator and how we do that. So that's a little bit later. But, you know, and once again, you're going to go, really? You've got to be kidding me. Tip number 5 is set your goals or set your outcomes. You know, set what it is. I know I sound like a broken personal development CD tape, whatever that it is from back then. You know, but I got to tell you, when I was going through when I was going through hell, I was just like, I had nothing that wanted. I didn't want to set any goals. I wanted to wallow around. I wanted to just make it okay. And then it was so interesting because the minute that I started going, you know, who am I letting down again? It's kind of like you said, like hitting that snooze button. I put my life on snooze. You know, I was like, I am not a person that puts my life on snooze. You know what happened? When I knew that I needed a tune-up is when I was lying in bed one day, and we put a TV in the room, and I bet worst idea ever. Do not encourage ever putting a TV in your room. But my daughter couldn't sleep, and it was kind of a way of just kind of like zoning out. And I was noticing how my life was literally slowly drifting away from who I really knew. Because guess what? I wasn't making myself a priority. Yes, I valued health. Yes, I valued my friends. But truthfully, I wasn't valuing me. And so I put that, we had that TV in that room, and I remember one night, I was sitting in front of the TV, and it was when TiVo first came out. And I noticed that I was freaking TiVoing CSI. And I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? I looked at the remote going, this is so not who I am. I'm the personal development girl. I'm about this. I'm about growth. I'm about making stuff happen. And I remember looking at that and going, I am done. I am done. Something's got to radically shift right now for me. And that's when I decided that I'm going to divorce all this stuff so much. Can't hear you too well. Am I muffled? Is it you guys? I hope I'm not muffled. So, you know, that's what you got to look at. You got to look at and go, and my goals, and I saw lots of you guys have written this around, inspire me, you know, and it gives everybody hope. Stop screaming. I'm kind of passionate right now. Sorry. So sorry about that. I didn't mean to scream. I'm just passionate, as you know. So anyway, you know, for me, I just started looking at who I need to become. And every day that I would look at Tuneups, and every day that I, you know, that alarm goes off, and it's time for me to get on the ground and do my push-ups. That's like, or, you know, say to myself, you know, what are my gifts? What I love about my gifts? Who can I create a magic moment for right now? When I start looking at those alarms going off for myself, I just go, who do I need to become? Every day I wake up and go, who do I need to become? That, to me, is about setting those goals. Right? It's about setting those goals. What is this? TV is designed to be addictive. Yes, I know. Otherwise, choose very wisely. Yep, that's why it's gone out of my... I don't think I've watched it in a very long time. But anyway, you know, with regards to who do I need to become? So when you're looking at these tune-ups, you've got to say to yourself, you know, I really take these 5 minutes every day, my take fives. And I realized I don't need a whole overhaul. I really just need, you know, these little tune-ups to keep me that momentum. And you know what, guys? I've got a lot going on. I've got, you know, I'm so very, very blessed with all the opportunities that I have. I still have an opportunity to teach life mastery. You know, I still have an opportunity to, you know, travel around the world, to work with, you know, my teams around the world and do all of those great things. I get an opportunity to connect with so many of you. And, you know, and my family, and I think like all of you, we're all on the same page. But the one thing that I started noticing was I wasn't, how would I say this? I wanted to reach so many more people, and that's why I started, you know, saying yes to everybody, anybody that needed me. I was always available. And I looked, and the most important thing for me was to go, how do I do something where I can constantly keep in touch with all these amazing friends that I have around the world? And, you know, I started to take on some clients years ago, and one-on-one coaching, and now, you know, we're all coaches, everybody's coach, you know, for everything with regards to that. And, you know, so here's what I've been up to, you know, one-on-one coaching, love it, it's great, it's awesome, but it's a lot of time and a lot of money. So then I thought about what could I create that will help people that I know, you know, and reach out to some of the people, because people go, can you tell me about this? Can you tell me about this person? Who do you know that can help us with this? Help us with that. And so that's when I really decided, and with some amazing teams that I have, that we decided that we were going to create something really fun. And it's called the Life Tuneups program. And it's totally affordable, has massive value, utilizes all my contacts. And I think that a lot of times that people want to connect is I have some great people that I can connect them with. It's about, you know, giving back, and also it's about being real, because I don't believe it's the fake it till you make it 80s or 90s anymore. I think people want what's real, and people don't know anymore what's real and what's not real. I think that's why people get so scared, and going real is scary, man, you know. And I think that when I was at my deepest hours, the reason that I was so scared but inspired and excited and made myself a priority to get real with myself, even if it stunk and I didn't like what the real stuff was that I saw, it was time to get real. So we're going to have real news, like real great news, real interesting news, really, really cool news, real news that I have a team that's going to be collecting that information for you. Real life. We're going to be sharing like real life things that are happening through our newsletter, through with regards to tips every day, like really cool things that you're going to get. You know, like I have my friend Vivica. She's going to be doing real cute teas that you're going to get. So the other thing is real talk. And so we're going to be having awesome group calls together where I'm telling you, babe, we will go on for more. I know my friends might get mad at me for saying this. Sorry about that, Alex. But we need to talk, and we need to help work through on a group call for you guys. If it needs to go an hour, hour and a half, 2 hours, or something going on, we're going to be there for you. You know, real experts. And like I said, these are the people that truly, I believe, got me through it. I'm not going to say that it was all the skill. It's not about skill. It's about heart. And these people that I've got confirmed already, here are just a few of them. Dr. Canizera, if you haven't met him, an unbelievable man on health and, you know, nutrition for you and your kids. And I've got so many great experts. Dr. Sears, who hopefully will be joining us. Keith Cunningham, you should have seen the email that Keith wrote us back. He's like, absolutely, any way that I can, you know, serve those people that you relate to. You'll hear in a minute. You know, I think a little bit you'll get to see the video that was created, and it's all about Joseph. Joseph, to me, Joseph and Keith are two of the realest people, how you like that? The most real people I've ever met in my life, and huge, huge mentors. I know not just for you, but just, you know, for all of us. And Jarek, I've known Jarek since he was 4 years old. Gary King, you know, I've known Gary for 25 years. And I really wanted to create an opportunity to serve Gary. Many of you don't know, if you don't know Gary, Gary's son took his own life last year. And I really wanted to give him an opportunity and have an opportunity to raise money to start this foundation that Gary started. And I thought this would be an awesome opportunity. Jamie Barrett, if you don't know her, she's spoken at my Lobella events. And she talks all about energy and feng shui your life. Her mom, Marilee Heck, is an amazing, she was an amazing energy worker and can teach us some really, really cool stuff about, you know, cutting cords and, you know, creating your space and everything else. Alita St. James, I shared with you about a lot about energy work, and you're just a cool woman. Kathy Buckley, you all probably know Kathy. Kathy is my son's godmother, and she, once again, she has an amazing foundation for the deaf children. And so I thought this would be another amazing opportunity for her to share and to connect with you guys and to be on a call with you as well. All these people have offered, and then Lisa Lockwood, another fabulous woman, Jamie Green, who's not on here that you don't see, or Sandra Magsalmon. Sandra Magsalmon is going to talk about tuning up your creativity. She is the Live Better of Walmart. You've probably seen her work. You're going to get an opportunity. She's going to, everybody that becomes part of this, she's going to donate one of her art pieces to you or one of her books. So we've got there's tons more people, but these are just some of the ones that we've got. A real contribution. It's going to be an opportunity. Everything that you guys are going to get an opportunity to give back. It's going to be, you'll get to pick which organization that you want to contribute to, because I obviously love to give back. And we've added something else, and this is Crystal Wenez. I hope I got to say, she's awesome. Anyway, she lives here in Las Vegas, and she's basically your concierge. She's so cute. My daughter and her went for a hike yesterday, and she is going to be able to get your questions answered. She's going to give feedback. We're going to have lots of group calls every week, lots. So maybe, hopefully, like 2 a week. And so you'll get to discuss things that you can implement. You can get advice. You can stay connected to people who are tuning in. And so she's basically going to be our concierge in leading those calls with you. And just a way for you to stay in tune. Basically, it's a mastermind, if you would. So you want to know, I know. You know how hard this is for me. Oh my God, you guys know how hard this is for me. This, you know how easy this is for me? It's $18. And the reason that we're doing it for $18 is, one, I don't want people to go, it costs too much. And secondly, I'm going to go, are you freaking kidding me? And I'm going to go, yep. $18, and you're going to get, I'll show you what you're going to get along with that. And $18 because in Hebrew, 18 is life, high, as we say. And so this is about life. This is about your life. This is about how do we really support each other in those times when you think that, I don't really need a tune-up, but I do need a tune-up. We're going to give you so many opportunities, whether it be that you're on the call with the speaker, or whether you're on the call with the group, or whether it be that you're on the call with me. There's just going to be so many ways to plug in for you guys. And I want to keep it going. I know for me, there's so many great things that I've wanted to do. Excuse me, I might cry for a second. There's so many great things that I wanted to either give to my friends, whether it be to go to an event or go to go have an experience or go do something. But what always happened, it was either that people didn't have the time or they didn't have the money. And I was like, God, I feel like I'm doing people an injustice by not being able to get those resources to them. So that's why that we're creating this for $18 a month. So everybody can go, you know what? Even if I just get one little tune-up at the group call or from the speaker call, or whether it be a tea. I mean, this tea that Vivica made me save my throat 2 days ago. And I'm like, oh my God, you've got to do tune-up teas every time. And I said, you're a tune-up tea lady. And she's like, no. I go, but oh my gosh, that could really save somebody. So it's $18 a month. And that's how you can register. I hope that you'll say yes to $18 for yourself, which is truly making yourself a priority. You'll see on the video what I compare it to. And I say, it's less than what I spent at Starbucks most days. And for the first 20 people from this webinar, there's more than 20 people on this webinar, that I have a new little cookbook, and not really cook, y'all know me, but people always ask me about smoothies, juices, salads, and soup. Basically, that's what I eat. Smoothies, juices, salads, and soup. I could do a whole freaking another book on some new things and some new things that I've learned. But you'll get that. And you also, to save some more, is that you can do it for a year, and you'll get both of my books. You don't have to, if you already got them, then give them away to somebody. Plus, you'll get an expert's book of your choice. So there's lots of people that you see that are on there. So whether it be Joseph's new book, whether it be Keith Cunningham's book, whether it be Sandra Mag-Salmon, whether it be Alita St. James, all these people have so many great things that we've got going on. So the website, again, let me see, is mylifetuneups.com/webinar. And I hope that we'll have up the new video of why this is so important. Because, guys, it's time to get real. Thank you, Lynn. You're going to make me cry. So, because it's time, guys. I mean, I would love, I wish we're opening this to 100 people. And I think that there's, if there was all the time in the world, which we know that there's not all the time in the world, but we should at least make the most of it. And that's why I say, making yourself a priority, making, keeping in touch with people that are all on this call a priority, just to see how you guys are interacting with each other. It looks like Barbara and Marina know each other, so maybe you guys can come over. And just making yourself that priority. And I think that in respecting yourself enough to just say, now's my time. And that's, to me, what I really said to myself, like, now's our time. And the world needs us. The world needs people that really just don't just take in information, but go, oh my gosh, there's people from around the world that we're all together, and we check in with each other 2 or 3 times. It is 50 cents a day. I know, isn't that funny? I say if you're gonna, don't throw it away. Give yourself give yourself that gift of 50 cents a day. Truly 50 cents a day. And okay, you can be at my house, Barbara, anytime you want. So so that's really what I would say to you guys is, let's pull together and let's make sure that we make ourselves a priority. I know you knew all this information, but I hope that you really take it to heart. That I will, want to over-deliver for you guys, so that you walk and go, I never knew I could get so much value. And you never know who you can help. For me, I always, and the reason that I finally did this is when my friend Alex came up to me, he goes, Loren, he goes, you have so much information to share with people. And I said, I know, Alex. I said, but I don't know how to do all of this stuff. I don't know how to do this webinar stuff. I don't know how to do this and that. And I'm pretty good about, utilizing my resources when it's for helping everybody else get their outcomes. But then I realized that I was playing small by, doing just a couple, helping 5 people as one-on-one coaching, and not getting to the levels, or just showing up at events and seeing people for 5 minutes versus creating a community, which for me, it's all about community. And it's all about how we create community, and that you guys can check in with Crystal or check in with me. And most importantly is that I really hope that you stay true to the amazing person that you are, because we all have so many gifts and you all have tons of information. I know how much information that you guys have in those little heads of yours, but it's time for you to really live your dreams and to live them to the max. I mean, that means us helping you. If you want to write a book, this group will help you write a book. So whatever that it is, let's just make sure that we keep it going, and please share this with others. And I look forward to seeing all of you join us as part of our team. So thank you so much, and stay true. Talk with you soon.